Hi guys, happy Tuesday. Hope everyone's doing well. Okay, so I'm just gonna babble a little bit about Turo trip fees. And that's because that's kind of what I was researching for myself today and did a little bit of homework and try to see if I could find some consistency on what things look like when the renter books a car. So oftentimes as hosts, we can really get stuck on just focusing on our day rates, but the picture is a little bit bigger than that. And so today I just spent quite a bit of time on the app and just choosing, different random cars in all categories, all classes, as if I was a guest. And I was looking at the end of the day, what does the cost look like on the renter's end of things? I was trying to see if there was any consistency in terms of what that trip fee percentage looks like, and if you choose standard protection, what that looks like. And so here are some of my findings, and it was actually kind of not that exciting because I couldn't find any real consistencies no matter how many cars that I went through. And then I even read about it I went to Turo's FAQs and just kind of did a little bit of research into it. And even on their FAQ page, there is no concrete breakdown of how it's calculated. And it even says on their page that, it's based on many different variables, not vehicles, and they have a way of calculating it, so it's not linear at all. And I'm going to post that link down in the description so you guys can read their website as well and kind of see how they talk about their trip fees and how it's calculated. Now, when I do research, this is something, looking at things from the renter's perspective, I probably do this maybe a couple of times a month. And I think it was maybe mid last year towards the end of 2019 maybe is when I noticed that it seemed like maybe trip fees went up. And I'm not sure that that's when it happened, but that's just when I noticed it. And I'm not sure if they've seen another bump recently. I've heard that, in the host universe that maybe trip fees have gone up, but I really don't know for a fact. But so I like to look at this a couple of times every month because, I like to kind of think about how it might affect my pricing and my listing, and if the value is there for the renter, or if there's renters coming onto the platform that accept that price for what they're getting. So that's kind of moving forward into this year, given all the changes that we've recently experienced. This is something that I'm going to be watching very, very, very closely. And I guess to just give you a little tip about my videos, whenever I say that I'm going to be watching something very closely, I always find those are the things that I think are really important factors that can play a huge part in the future of things. And for me personally, whether I grow or not, if I add cars or not, those are kind of the things that I look at. So this is definitely going to be one of them. Another thing that really prompted this was, I think probably in this last 3.5 weeks, I probably lost maybe 5 or 6 repeat renters of mine because they had messaged me saying, hey, do you think you can lower your day rate? Because with the trip fees, it's getting kind of expensive. My response to them, unfortunately, was that, I wasn't willing to lower my day rates any more than, what they already are. So unfortunately, I lost those bookings. But also what I'm really trying to test right now is if the marketplace is going to accept higher prices. If new renters are coming onto the platform and are okay with these higher prices, and if the value is there, right? And I mean, so far, I think it is, even though I lost those renters, I was still booked up. So my cars did go out at the price points that I held. So, and I have been getting a lot more newer renters versus repeat renters lately. So I don't know, it could be a little bit of a shift in the marketplace, right? That is the good thing about this platform, is that it is still relatively new in terms of marketplaces. And so there is still an abundance of people that it can pull in, whether they are renters or they're hosts. There's still a lot of people that don't know about Turo. It's still growing. The word is still getting out there. So we could potentially get a lot of people coming in that, they don't know maybe what the old prices were or what the old trip fees used to look like. So they don't have anything to compare it to. And hopefully, as the marketplace evolves, there's better value, better quality, and people accept that price point coming in. And hopefully it's just sets a better standard overall. So the only kind of consistency that I could find as I was kind of just going through a bunch of different cars, and I went through all the categories, economic cars, mid-size SUVs, luxury, super deluxe, like everything, you name it. I kind of went through the checkout process. The only thing that I could find, and I'm not 100% sure, is that it seemed like the cars that were priced higher on their day rates saw a smaller percentage of the transaction equate to the trip fee and the protection plan. So for example, like a car that had a higher day rate, about 45% of the day rate, so like let's just say the car price was $100 per day, the trip fee and the protection plan would equal out to be $45 on top of the 100. So it would come out to $145 per day. Sorry, I can't talk for some reason. Versus a car that was lower price. So say if a car, for example, hypothetically was $10, the trip fee and the standard protection would come out to $7. So it was 70% of what the day rate was, with your total coming out to $17 per day. That was the only kind of consistency that I could see. And that could be another indicator that cars that are priced a little bit higher, it's a less risky transaction. So there's less risk on all ends. There's less risk on the host end, there's less risk on Turo's end, and the renter who's booking that car could potentially be a less risky renter because they're willing to spend a higher amount of money. And I'm sure there's some data out there that Turo could probably very easily pull and see if that really is the case, and maybe this is modeled after that. I have no idea, but again, this is why I'm going to continue to watch this, because I think pricing is going to be very crucial throughout the rest of this year in determining if the marketplace has really balanced itself out or not. So I don't know. Let's see what happens. Today is July 7th. So today was officially the first day where they are putting floors to pricing on a car. So you can no longer do the minimum price, which was universal for any car, which was $10. Now the minimum is based off of the value of the car, which again, I think will help lift the prices. So kind of really interesting to see how this might affect it and how it could affect us as hosts and our day rates. And hopefully it's a positive effect because it lowers risk and increases the quality in the marketplace. I don't know, only time will tell. But that's my strategy moving forward, is to continue to inch my prices up and every single day ask myself, how can I provide better quality and how can I provide better value for my guests so that it justifies the price points? And, you know, if I had to make an assumption or a guess as to the future of the platform and which direction it might head into, my guess is that it's going to go towards having newer cars on the platform, so cars that are newer years and cars that are at a higher price point, so where there can be a lot of quality and value in every single experience. And it's not that there's anything wrong with cars that are a little bit older, let's say like a 2015, but if I again had to make an assumption, my guess would be that there are more issues that are faced with cars that are a little bit more on the older side. So maybe, you know, like 2014, 2015. And if there's some other ones that are on the platform, I think I've seen 2013s and 2012s on there. Obviously, just given the age of the car, and that kind of just naturally comes with it. I bet you that the data probably reflects that. And so I think moving forward, like I totally would not be surprised if an announcement came out where Turo said, okay, so from now on, cars that can be listed on the platform can only be 4 years old, you know, like we're looking at maybe 2017 or 2018 and up, so that people face less problems during their trips. I don't know, just a guess. We'll see what happens, but those are kind of like the things that I like to anticipate that might happen and really make sure that I'm geared up for anything of that nature. And just to really evaluate for yourself, if the marketplace went in that direction, what would you do? Is that a marketplace that you want to participate in, or is that a marketplace that you don't want to participate in? So it's really to help make decisions even for yourself. Me personally, I would like to participate in a marketplace that offers higher value, higher quality, doesn't matter what type of car it is, but just something where people are having consistently good experiences. And I think right now on the platform, people are not having consistently good experiences. So somehow that has to get streamlined in the marketplace as much as possible, because that will ultimately boost earnings for everybody. If people have good experiences, they get good value, good quality, they'll continue to come back, they'll spread the word, there'll be repeat and referral business, and things will flourish in that way. But we really have to kind of just watch and see what happens as every marketplace, every technology, and everything evolves, it grows, it changes, and you have to see if in your situation, if it works for you, or if it doesn't work for you, so that you can maneuver accordingly and plan your exits should you need to. So that's kind of what I'm always looking at, and I'm trying to anticipate, 10 moves ahead, what could happen, and if this happened, could I be ready for this? Would it still make sense for me, or do I need to make my exit? So that's how I've always led my businesses, and what I'll continue to do with Turo. Sometimes I think that people wonder why I do things the way that I do, but one of the things that I think I do a good job at is really kind of paying attention to the details and thinking about them. So for example, one of the things that I haven't done in a long time is buy new cars to put on the platform. Primarily earlier this year in January, I think I mentioned in one of my videos, is I wanted to wait and see if there was going to be any more changes to the insurance. Had I had purchased cars late last year, which usually it's in December when I buy cars, I would have purchased cars based on the old model of insurance. But now there's a new model of insurance, and I'm really glad that I didn't buy any cars, because one, I want to test and make sure that the price points, higher price points, work on the platform, and the platform is growing in terms of quality and value. That's very important to me. And then I want to make sure that, okay, I feel like the insurance has sort of stabilized, the market has balanced, and now I can go out and look for deals that would match the revenue model of the current marketplace. And that was one of the reasons why I thought, in a perfect world, it would have been cool if hosts who have been on the platform, who have had cars listed prior to the changes in insurance, could have been grandfathered into it, because for me personally, I bought cars based on that model, right? So they fit a very specific mathematical equation, which is now different. So that was kind of my thought on that. But in everything, things change, and you have to evolve and adjust and pivot as much as possible, and then kind of grow from there. So that's kind of where I'm at with this. All right, guys. So if anyone has any more information on these trip fees, or kind of any consistencies that you've seen, or how you can kind of better gauge as a host what your guests are paying, so that you can offer great value, great service, great quality, and a great experience for them, that would be super helpful. Definitely feel free to comment below and share your thoughts. And on that note, that is it for me. I think it's way too hot in this garage, and that's why I can't talk today. So I'm going to get myself inside. All right, you guys, I'll talk to you later. Take care. And again, if you like this channel, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching. As always, my name is Saimah, and this is Saimah's Experience. Bye, guys.